Are we back on? No, it was everything. Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, everything. I don't know what the deal was. It's on Streamlabs over here. Everything looks good. I just restarted the stream, so I hate doing that. Every now and then it does that, and I don't know why. Like, I have internet, I'm not dropping packets. Streamlabs says everything's green, good to go. Just time to take a dump. I dropped the new link for the live into the old YouTube chat. So that is there. Hey, Tat. I see Steve. So we're back. Yeah, Steve's right here. He likes to hover above my head and hang out. Whisper in my ear a couple times a night. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, guys. I'm sorry. It's unexplainable streaming crap. Like, I didn't lose internet. PC didn't crash. Streamlabs is all green. Literally all I did was end the stream and restart the stream. Although it does say 8 minutes ago that there was, the stream has disconnected, attempted to reconnect. Oh, it does have that. That I didn't see. That might be my RAM usage. Yeah, we should be all right. We're only at 70% usage on 64 gigs. I have a bazillion tabs open right now. 46% on the CPU. Yeah, we're good. I don't know what the deal was there. Yeah, thanks for letting me know, guys, because without you guys telling me something was wrong with it, I would have never known. I would have been sitting here blabbing away, and you guys would have been like, huh? But there we go. We have all of this front panel connectors done. And now we were talking about putting in a graphics card and then the power supply and doing some cable management and finishing this up. Now I have no idea how long the chat or the stream's been going. I guess I started around 9. So we're about an hour and 40 minutes in. A little longer than I expected for this build. A lot of questions in the chat, which is awesome. Just didn't expect to go this long because I was going to try to squeeze in a motherboard replacement on that other build that we did the other night. Remember the other build that we did and it was an open box motherboard and it didn't work? The inventory build. Well, I got somebody who wants to buy it. I just got to finish the build. I was going to try to squeeze that in tonight, but I might just do that off stream. Might just do that off stream now. Does Steve have merch? No, but I guess we can make Steve some merch. I just didn't think anybody would want to buy a shirt with a CPU stain. CPU thermal paste stain on it. It's kind of weird. But okay. Never thought of that. Yeah, B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi too, yeah. One of the, in my opinion, best B550 micro ATX B550 motherboards out there. B550Ms. It has the support for all of your connectors, including USB-C. Has 2 addressable RGB headers. Obviously supports 5000 series CPUs. Has pretty decent VRMs for the motherboard. And then it also has your PCIe X16 slot with PCIe X1. So you can add an expansion card at the bottom. And then it also has a secondary M.2 slot, which is nice for additional storage, future upgrade storage. So in my opinion, this is one of the better B550M boards, even though it's a Pro Series board. And it comes in at around $100 new. It'll fluctuate up and down. around that price point. Like I've seen them a couple weeks ago for like $120, but right now they're about 100, 110. Very nice boards for what they are. For AM4, it's excellent. Do I ever show the post? So I do have a capture card, but it's not a very good capture card, so sometimes it doesn't like to show low resolutions, such as when a computer's posting. I could try to run through it, run it through that, but I don't know that it will work. It's very buggy. What I do need is a better capture card. That will solve that problem. 1, 2, skip a few, 99, 100. That's definitely not the one. Ah. There it is. And then what I like to do with these little things that I pull out of the graphics card is actually put them into these onboard ports on the motherboard, so it defers people from trying to plug in their monitors up here at the top on the motherboard, which would be onboard video. We want to make sure people plug into the graphics card down below. So make sure when you are plugging your monitors in, Ellie, that you plug them into the graphics card down below. Here you have one HDMI and 3 display ports, which supports up to 4 monitors on this card. Do not plug in up here your monitors into the HDMI or display ports up here at the top. You get a black screen if you do that. It won't display anything. Like to call that out. Okay, so now that the GPU is installed, we can put a power supply in here. And then we'll do some cable management and then fire this thing up. So what I got to do to solve that problem, John, is get a better capture card. I could, but I don't know, I just don't like the quality. I'd rather use a capture card, but yes, I could do that. I actually have a portable screen I could use to show the camera or the side cam. We could do that. I just would prefer to use the capture card because it would look a lot nicer. It's a lot more manageable in a stream scenario. For example, I can shrink the size of where I want the screen to show more of the PC or something. It's just a lot easier to manage. One day I will have a better capture card. And the limiting factor on my capture card situation is actually my PC. I don't have enough PCIe lanes to run all of it. You'd buy it? What's good, some donated? So, you'd buy the shirts, Cat. I know you would. I'll make a shirt just for you. For you. For your love of Steve. The CPU paste stain over here. Alright, so now we just gotta run our cables, plug them in, do some cable management. Then we get to fire this thing up and see it power on for the very first time. I'm sure Ali's excited for this. That moment. Hope you're still here in the chat, since we've shifted over after the stream crashed. No reason at all. I can't get over that. World just going up and over. See if we have enough. See if we have enough cable to do this. I think we do. The up and over. I guess one other suggestion in this case that I would make is get your EPS cable plugged in before you mount your board. This is tight. This is a tight fit. But I did get it. But do not ask me to undo that anytime soon. Do we like the up and over, or do we want to come in from down below? I think I'm going to try it down below. I don't think I like this. I don't like it. It's bothering me. Do 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 do. Oh, and I would do that. Yeah, this just looks so much better. Needs to say Steve the Stain. What do you think what would I say the most annoying part of building a PC is? I'd say the cable management is probably the most annoying part, or you know what, top that. When you buy a ton of parts with a ton of twist ties or a ton of cables. So when you get to the back and there's like a bazillion cables to deal with, that is just an anxiety-inducing situation. So I'd say that is probably the most annoying thing to deal with when building PCs. You know, I typically enjoy it, you know, going through and doing the cable management, but you know, sometimes when it's just like extremely overwhelming, it's overwhelming. So It's usually when I get quiet and I go heads down and just tackle it. But for the most part, that's probably the most annoying part of building a PC. Twist ties and... oh yeah, and then cable combs. I think cable combs are pretty annoying. As cool as they look, they are annoying to set up. It's satisfying when it's done, because they look so nice, but putting them in, they could be annoying. What was the other thing that I was going to say? Oh, and the other annoying thing when you're doing an open loop, this is for more advanced builds. When you're doing an open loop and you're trying to cut a tube to the right length that you need, you'll be cutting very, very small pieces to get it to the perfect fit. And you'll be cutting extremely small, sanding it down. Cut, sand, cut, sand, cut, sand, cut, sand. And then it'll be almost perfect, and then you're like, oh man, I just need to cut this little teeny tiny little bit off, and then we're gonna sand it down, and then you find out it's too short. It's just all of a sudden way too short. And you're like, what the hell? What did I do wrong? That happens a lot when you're doing open loops with hard tubes. Especially if you haven't done it in a while. That'll happen. And it actually just happened to me, so that's another annoying thing that I forgot about that'll happen. And it doesn't matter if you measure or it's always comes down to you having to cut and sand a bazillion times. In some cases, cable management cable extensions make it worse because it gives you more cables and more cable length to deal with that you have to put somewhere. So in this situation, in this case, cable extensions make it worse on a smaller case like this, even though I do it all the time. But then you end up, especially with a non-modular power supply, you end up with all this extra cable that you have to put somewhere. And it's really hard to manage that. So it just makes it more difficult. In this situation, we don't have any cable extensions that we're going to be using in the build, so it's the full cable length is being used. Alright, so we've got everything plugged in. I just needed to pull this little tot here. There's some tot. Tot, tot, tot. And for some reason I still managed to screw this up. There we go, we fixed it though. It's all good, it's all good. Cat, you didn't remind me about the SATA power connector yet. I've been waiting all night to hear that. Why is it acting like the door's open? We're getting there, guys. We're just gonna finish cable managing this little bit down here, and then we're good to go. I want to do cable extensions for my first build. Should I wait for my next build? I say do them. Go ahead and do them. They're not difficult. You can even buy ones with pre-installed cable combs. They're just a lot looser. They're not as tight. They move sometimes, so. Hey, what's up? The patience of a saint to wire the cables up nice and neat. Yeah, you gotta do it. You gotta do it. This isn't, you know, perfect either, so this is I call it semi-loose, where it's, you could definitely do a better job on this. But I mean, you have a main channel that runs down, which has the main harness, and then you have your EPS that usually runs on the side here. But the most important piece is just to make sure that it's not spilling out into the main chamber front. That's the most important piece of your cable management. The rest of it doesn't really matter that much, unless you know, you're paying for it, which they are. I'm trying to do as good of a job in a small, tight case as possible. Can't forget that. We are going to have to utilize, I think, the hard drive tray for all the extra cables in the non-modular power supply, which is quite a few cables. But I do not suspect this PC ever having a hard drive in it. I do have an additional M.2 slot for more storage, and then there's also SATA for 2.5 inch, and there's a couple of 2.5 inch options up here. I thought. Maybe. If not, you know, we'll figure it out. It's a local customer. If they need help with it, I can help. Actually, we're gonna use a big tie for this. Yes, Ant-Man, we're using the cage. Sorry. Wish more people in my house need PC. I want to build another one. Well, that's why you go find friends that need PCs built, and then build theirs. Yeah. Just tell them, you know, if I build your PC, you gotta come in and get a tattoo or buy me a case of beer or something. My friends all use MacBooks and iPads. Shame on them. And you call yourself a friend letting them use that? I'm just kidding. That's too bad. They don't know what they're missing. Maybe one day they'll learn. There's still time. Pretty clean. Except for that's one cable down here. Eh. There we go. Better. Now it's very clean. They often accuse me of trying to start a religion around a PC is better. It's not even close to a religion, it's just the truth. Beautiful case for the price, yes. It did turn out pretty good, guys. And Tonka, thank you for... or... Tonka? Tonka? Thank you for the sub over there on YouTube. I would love to build my friends' PCs, but they like to tinker with stuff too much, and it becomes a headache for me. Well, just tell them you only do the build, and after that, they're on their own. Tell them to come watch the channel and learn. Should I go for black and gray cable extensions, or just go with a simple black? The black and gray, especially with a Gigabyte motherboard, like the Gigabyte B650, really looks nice. So take a look at the motherboard and see which one will look better. If there's a ton of gray mixed into the black on the motherboard, then maybe the black and gray would look nice. And that's usually what I do, is look at, you know, the colors of the build, and then kind of decide off that. If I have the approval from the customer to decide, that is. Just go with white. White goes with everything, Tat says. Good. That would bother me a lot. All right, let's power this thing up and see if it works. Lee, are you still here? Did you make it over to the new stream? White is too vanilla. Yeah, sometimes I think white can be, but I mean, there's some really nice white builds that I've done that I really liked. I was like, man, that actually looks pretty sharp. All right, Ali, we're waiting on you to tell us to push that power button. Stormtrooper build is what mine looks like, yes. I've done quite a few Stormtrooper builds. They look really nice. I like the look of them. White just doesn't look that good to me. Yeah. Some people like it, some people don't. It's black. And very dirty. Very dirty right now. So, assuming Ali has not picked up that we moved to the new stream, I don't know. I'll give her a couple more minutes and see if she shows up. Or he. Or she. I don't even know if it's he or she. I'm sorry. I feel terrible. It's such a... She said something earlier. I gotta go read the other chat from earlier. You know, I probably don't have the chat anymore. I'd have to get back in the video and restore it. Forget it. Ali, are you here in the chat still? Hanging out? Are you ready for us to power this thing up? I'm going to assume that you maybe went to bed. So we're going to go ahead and fire this up. In 3, 2, 1... One. Clean build. Oops. Oops. It's about as close as we're gonna get it. Nice, Ben. Thank you, Jesse, and welcome back to the Build Show, sir. Macau, welcome back to the Build Show. Yeah, I've got to send you an email. I was going through everything, and I've got finally a list of everything that we're going to need, I think. So, there's a lot for your build. Is this case a new meta for Empower Enterprise? Only if we're doing an air cooler. And I don't like making it so that it's a case or a build that can only do an air cooler. I prefer to have a case that has the option to change to a liquid cooler, like an AIO. And I don't think there's enough space at the top of this case for a liquid AIO. So this is my first time building in this case. It was a very good deal, which made it so we can get, you know, 32 gigs and a 2 terabyte SSD into the mix for under $1,000 on top of everything else that's in there. So it's a nice starter PC. I guess if we ever have to switch to a cooler, a liquid cooler, which I mean the Thermalright Peerless Assassin can pretty much run anything, but for example, if they wanted to switch to it, we would have to probably change it out. We did post, and I actually plugged the Windows drive into it, so we're already loading Windows. Oh, starting to. But, you know, we could switch out the case. So I don't know if it's a case that I'll continue to use. It's very compact, yeah. It would be a very tight fit, Jesse. A very tight fit. This is a Cypress 3 by Okinois, and it's a very tight fit. I think if you were to try to put a 240mm at the top, it'd be tight. You could definitely mount one to the front, but it's such a short case that, I mean, this is just an RX 6600. There's not a whole lot of space there between the end of the card and the case, so basically you're limited to the length of a RX 6600. and the cutout isn't very big down here, so it would have to be a thin AIO on the front. I mean, avoid the hassle if you're going to try to do a liquid cooler, and just go with the Aqua 5 or something like that. This is definitely, I'd say, an air-cooled case. Tower air cooler. ATX gives you more room, but takes up more room in your setup, yeah. I mean, it's a nice micro ATX case if you stick with air-cooled. You can't complain about it. I mean, it pulls air. Definitely feel airflow for the fans that you get in it. Pretty good. That's just the limiting factor is no top mount AIO. You could definitely put fans on the top. That'll probably help with the airflow. And you can install fans on the bottom. You can mount two fans down here on the bottom, and this is all mesh on the side. So you could pull some more airflow in here and have exhaust on the top if you wanted to. But if I was going to do exhaust on the top, I would only do one fan on the back side here and not put a fan on the front. That'll just pull cool air right out before it gets to the CPU. I'd rather have it in the back here so it's pulling hot air from here out. That is what I would do if it was me. You think the case would frustrate me really bad? Only if you're, you know, this case was actually pretty easy to build in for a micro ATX case that doesn't have the glass front removable. It was actually pretty easy to build in. Yeah, it's only $60. It's a great budget-friendly case that allowed me to put more budget towards like more storage and more RAM, and that's why we ended up with this case. And I wanted to try it, and I think it was kind of what they were looking for, something like this. I was gonna go with the Montech Air 100, but those are getting up to like $70. This was a few dollars cheaper, $10 cheaper. With the Montech Air 100, though, you could definitely put a 240 at the top easily. You got the Ethno case for $50. Nice. The Entho. Yeah, there's a couple of really good cases out there for that in that price range. There's one that I've been wanting to try, but it doesn't come with any fans, so that's like the big kicker. So you have to spend, especially if you want to fill out all the fans. It's a dual chamber micro ATX case for like $50 on Amazon, but doesn't come with any fans, so you'd have to fill out at least 2 on the side as the intake and 1 on the rear. And then you have the option for 2 more on the bottom, and then a 240 millimeter AIO. So you're spending, I think the Thermalright fans, $12, $24, plus another $6, $30 in fans. So then you're at like a $70 or $80 case, 50 plus 30. Where you can get a case like, for example, the Okinawa 7, Aqua 7, and have all of that, and it's an ATX tower, which is bigger. Okinawa's Aqua 7 is actually cheaper. It would have the fans. So, I mean, you gotta play the math, do the math there. It's a Phantek, yeah. Phantek is a nice brand. I do like their cases. I did like their G500A. I was a big fan of that case. I use that actually quite a bit. And then the Montech Air 903 Max came out, and that kind of replaced it because it was so much cheaper. And it was like the same quality. So sorry, Fantex. Montech. Yeah, their cases are nice, Fantex. Have always been a fan of them. I've been a fan of Fantex. What case did you use for this build? This build was the Okinawa's Cypress 3? Cypress 3? CYPRESS. Oh, that's one in your car right now? Yeah, that's this one. Micro ATX. Good price. You just can't do a liquid cooler in there very easily. That's my opinion on this, is it'll be difficult to do a liquid cooler, so stay air cooled if you're going to build in this or in this case, plan to stay air cooled. Like, for example, the Peerless Assassin. It's a great cooler for this build. 7600X and the 4060 is a good pairing. Yeah, that's a very good pairing. It'd be a very solid PC. Good platform to start on. But if you do plan on upgrading, John, I will say, if you plan on upgrading to a bigger graphics card eventually down the road, you will end up with a physical size issue in this case. It'll be limited on your length. But I mean, there's bigger cards out there that are short, so just keep that in mind when you go to upgrade to a bigger graphics card, that you have a limitation on the length. And also the width. I mean, any micro ATX case is going to have that problem. Boy, we already have Windows installed. That's how fast that TN450 is. That drives fast. Was it a 470 or... I believe max length for this case is 320 millimeters. Yeah, that sounds about right. But just keep that in mind, you know, when you go to buy your case, if you're planning to upgrade to bigger components, make sure you buy a bigger case, you know. Yeah, I'd say if you're going to do anything, John, look at the Okinawa's Aqua 7 or the Aqua 9. Oh, don't plan on. Okay. Yeah, if you are and you want a bigger case, the Aqua 7 would give you a little bit more room. But I think it's like $25, $30 more. So... Hey, Guy, over on Facebook. Thank you for the like over there. On the Facebook. Well, there we have it, guys. We got through the build. Only took, you know, 2 hours and 30 minutes with all the questions, which is all right. You know, I definitely appreciate the questions. I'm not at all complaining. I'm just laughing because this build, if I was off stream, would take me about 30 minutes. I just need to go heads down. But it's hard to to ignore the chat. You guys are too cool. Excuse me. Aqua 5 is micro ATX with more room than Aqua 3. That is correct, Onera. The Aqua 5 would be another option. The 5, the 7, and the 9 are all great options to look at. 5 is micro ATX, and I think it supports a 360mm AIO if you wanted to do that. That's chat for you. Yeah. That's why I stream, though, so it's a whole point. Give people opportunity to come in and ask questions. So that's what we got for the night, guys. I was going to try to squeeze in that motherboard replacement behind me. Up here. It's probably not going to show it. It's over here behind me on the shelf. But it got a little late here, so we'll do another stream, I think, on either Wednesday night or Thursday night. It's most likely going to be Thursday night. We are going to be doing a Threadripper build on Wednesday. I'm sorry, Thursday night, not Wednesday. Wednesday night, there's no stream. Tuesday night, there's no stream. Tuesday, I have my daughter's birthday. So we're going to be celebrating her birthday, Little Miss Empower's birthday. And then we have Wednesday, I'll be driving around, and I think I'm going to be getting back here too late to start a stream. So it's better off just to say I'm not going to do a stream. And then Thursday, I will be doing a stream, and it'll be the Threadripper build. So we'll be doing a Threadripper build on Thursday's build show, and then Friday we have another build already lined up as well, and then we still have, of course, more inventory builds to do that we just haven't gotten to, so that we'll do on stream, and if the weekend's good enough for us, we'll do those on Saturday. So that's what we have lined up for the rest of the week already. And I have to go get the glass. I have to get the glass that's for the Threadripper build, so I have to remember to do that. And outside of that, we're working on a really awesome open loop build, actually, for somebody who was in the chat earlier, Mikhail. So he's really excited. I'm trying to figure out how to get this recorded at the same time I'm doing it, so I'm playing around with some stuff, trying to make it as professional as possible. Thank you. I will make sure she hears that. I'll pass that on to her. So that is the plan for the week. Tomorrow and Wednesday, no stream. Thursday, we'll have a build show. Friday, we'll have a build show. And Saturday, we'll possibly have a build show. More than likely, we will. And then we'll go from there. So, thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out and watching us as we build Ellie's PC. Looking forward to finishing this up so she can pick it up tomorrow. Or so they can pick it up tomorrow and take it home and start gaming on it. So, have a good night, guys. We'll see you on the next one on Thursday. Thank you again. Have a good night.